Live. Hello everybody, welcome to another episode of Lazio Lounge. I don't know how you are, but guys, I'm still trying to recover from this penalty shootout. It was, Alistair, I would say, a typical Lazio victory. Do you agree with me?
Yes. Yeah, unfortunately, I know exactly what you mean. It's just one of these cases. I mean, the tweet I sent out at full time was just that, Lazio deserved this, but as usual, haven't exactly made things easy for ourselves. And I think that's the problem, I mean, it's quite nice now to be in this situation where you can kind of laugh about it a bit, but my God, that we had so many opportunities in that match to put that game away. And also, obviously, the way Inter got back into it, I'm sure we'll discuss as well. But yeah, it would be nicer. It'd be nice to win games more comfortably than this. But don't get me wrong, to be in the semi-finals and to come through the penalty shootout, it does feel good. I'm in a good mood.
Yeah, especially when the player that missed it is Nainggolan. We know all his past against Lazio, and this makes it even sweeter. But again, Alistair, especially in the first half today, Lazio played really well. It remembers me a lot of the performance Lazio made against Juventus. But still, too many chances wasted. And I think that against big team, you cannot allow this because you know that you're going to struggle and you're going to risk to lose a match that you deserve to win.
Yeah, I mean, it was something we spoke about quite a lot after the Juve game. The fact that Lazio played so courageously and with such attacking flair in that match and only managed to score through an Emre Can own goal. And then this time around, Immobile has eventually scored, but don't forget that was after the 90 minutes was up. So in a league match that would have been useless and finished in a 0-0 draw. So yeah, it is a problem. I mean, it's. I don't think it's something necessarily to worry too much about or pay too kind of close scrutiny to, because I think the fact that this team is playing with such kind of vivacity again going forward and creating a lot of chances, that we do have the players to put them away. And I don't want to say it's a coincidence, but I don't think it's necessarily a pattern, because when you've got the likes of Immobile, Correa, Alberto, Milinkovic, all these guys on the pitch at the same time, I think the goals will come. And today, don't forget, we were up against not only the best goalkeeper in the league, in my opinion anyway, but it was Handanovic at his very best. And, I'm sure we'll get round to criticising Caicedo for missing his chance, but it was a great save, and a lot of the saves he made were great saves. So sometimes you just have to take your hat off to a goalkeeping performance like the one that he put out. But on the same bat, I think Strakosha had a great game as well. So I think both keepers did well today and came away with good, with their reputations kind of enhanced.
Yeah, we're going to talk about goalkeepers, but I want to start from the decision of Simone Inzaghi, because all week long, it was looking like Inzaghi would have changed a little bit the starting 11. It looked like Berisha should have started. Caicedo should have started instead of Correa. I have to tell you, I've been a little bit surprised by the decision Inzaghi took today. Especially seeing Inter instead trying to change a little bit the starting 11. Were you surprised, or do you think it makes sense to put the best team available in the Coppa Italia?
I was really happy when I saw that he'd done that. Yeah, I was a bit disappointed during the week to see all these reports of the probable formations with, like you say, with Caicedo up front, Berisha in midfield, and so on. Because I don't think this is a competition that Lazio, first of all, should be looking at as an opportunity to rest players. And secondly, I think that this is a really important part of the season to have a game like this and a test like this. And after the way we played against Juventus, and I think this is probably what changed Inzaghi's mind if he was thinking about rotating. I think it was quite important to build on that performance by putting the same team out in another big game against another big team and see if they can replicate it. And I think the answer that Inzaghi got tonight was a really positive one because, yeah, like we say, the goals didn't flow again, but it was another front foot performance, this time obviously away from home. And yeah, I think that for me that was really encouraging. You know, we've got until Monday night to recover, and then it's Frosinone, which is an away game, but as away games go, it's the closest one you can get to Rome, apart from Roma, obviously. So, yeah, for me, I think it was nice to see the same team get a chance to build on what they'd done against Juventus.
From my point of view, as you can imagine, I was concerned to see Caicedo start, but on the other side, I was happy to see Berisha given a chance. As I said often, I don't want to be repetitive, but I'm really looking forward to give Berisha a start in an important match where there's something really important for Lazio. So I thought, this could be the right match for him. Instead, he didn't play a second today because things gone different. But yeah, I was concerned to see Caicedo, and again, he proved me right again tonight. So, yeah, it looks, Alasdair, if you think about the first year of Inzaghi, and Lazio reached the Coppa Italia final even that time, in the first year, he gave more chances to the players that didn't play a lot in the Serie A, giving play time in Coppa Italia. What have changed?
Yeah, you're right. I mean, I suppose that's been particularly noticeable this month because, and I suppose even more so today being transfer deadline day, because we've had all sorts of rumours going around this month about players wanting to leave who have basically just got here. And I suppose, yeah, there has been a bit less rotation. And I think that for me, the main reason is simply been that Inzaghi has taken longer this season to find the right setup. And initially he was going with the same one, obviously, that he played with last season. And going with the tried and trusted players as well. And obviously the lack of form of Alberto and Milinkovic didn't help him in that regard. And now that he's kind of come around to finding the answer, he's going to stick with that. And I suppose on top of that, there haven't really been any standout performances from the other guys, the fringe players, when they've come into the team to really say, look, I need to be getting more game time. The exceptions would be Joaquin Correa, obviously, who started the season as a bench player and has now worked his way into the team. So Inzaghi has rewarded him with games after he played well. But who else would you really say has put their hand up very strongly to say they should be in the team? I think we've had players like Berisha and Dermisi who have shown signs of being good players, but not enough to knock anyone else out of this team. So I think that's, for me, the main reason that this has happened. But yeah, we've got a lot of fixtures coming up, so I think players will get more time, at least off the bench in the run in this season. But I do think that he's now going to settle on the team we saw tonight and against Juve being his favourite team.
I agree. You can have your favourite team, but for example, going back to Parma-Lazio, I thought Berisha played really well there, and unfortunately after that he didn't have other chance to play in Serie A. So that's for me a little bit a mistake of Simone Inzaghi. And what I'm concerned is that there's the big risk that we will arrive at the end of the season with our starting players knackered, when maybe we're still in the fight for something. So again, we'll see. I mean, Simone Inzaghi is the manager of the team. Obviously, he see the players training every day. We don't. So we're gonna see. But first, Alistair, can we confirm that you didn't ask to leave Lazio Lounge? There were rumors about this.
I've demanded a transfer request.
Absolutely. Corriere dello Sport wrote it 2 days ago.
Oh, thankfully I've been given a bumper new contract, so yeah, I'm still waiting for some payment for that, actually, Vittorio, if you don't mind.
I didn't hear you.
My signing on fee.
No, don't understand, sorry. Anyway, very good first half. I thought Correa played really well. What I thought in the second half was that both Correa and Luis Alberto stopped playing. I don't know if they were tired or Spalletti found a way to stop them, but they weren't performing as well as in the first half. I think that's the main reason why Lazio didn't play that well in the second half today.
Yeah. I mean, I suppose it's the same thing we saw against Juve, though, isn't it? I think I don't think Lazio came out quite as hard and fast in this match as they did against Juve, but at the same time, I think if you're going to try and deploy a game plan in which you're on the front foot, it's quite hard to keep that up for 90 minutes of hard pressing, aggressive defending, and the rest of it. But yeah, I think overall, I mean, on the balance of the game, it was a really tight game. I mean, don't get me wrong, I have said that I think Lazio deserved to go through tonight, but I think that's not by an awful lot. I can understand why Inter fans will be disappointed about the way things have gone, because it was a very tight match. It was in the balance for a long time, and it required very small margins for us to be able to come out on top of it. But it was nice to see, like I've already said, going to an away game and playing proactively and being the team that creates the better chances and forces their keeper to have a great game. And on top of that, it's worth mentioning, that it wasn't in 90 minutes and it wasn't a Serie A match, but this is finally a win over a top 6 team. So it's not as decisive, as emphatic as perhaps we'd like, but we have finally kind of broken that curse this season. And I think that maybe going forwards, I don't know if you agree, but hopefully now that Lazio have come out, reacted to the late penalty and everything to win this game, it can give them maybe a bit more conviction and a bit more belief in the big games that we're going to face for the rest of the season.
And I agree what you said, that it wasn't a Serie A match, but it was a playoff. If you win, you go through the semi-final. If you lose, you're out. So in a certain way, it was even more important than a Serie A match when you have other match to recover. So I don't want to say it was more important, but I think it was can be really fundamental for this team to gain confidence. That I think lost a little bit. This squad lost a little bit in the last year with all those match lost against the big teams, and especially I think the last match of last season affected this team.
What you mean in terms of the performances against big teams this season?
Not the performance, but the confidence playing against the big teams.
Yeah, well, possibly. I mean, I suppose the thing, the kind of counter argument to that is that players have gone out of their way this season to mention that and say, it's time to forget about that, and we're moving on from that, and yeah, there's been a lot of those messages coming out from the Lazio camp this season. So I suppose it's one thing to say that, and it's another thing to feel it. So perhaps you're right, but it's February now, as of about 15 minutes ago. Oh no, it's not February with you yet.
Not for me.
Yeah, so I mean, the point is that we're very far into a new season now, so there shouldn't be any sort of clouds of doubt from what happened last season, because we've got our own objectives, our own ambitions for this season. And look, we're semi-finalists in the Coppa Italia. We've got some really exciting European games coming up against Sevilla too, and we're right in the mix for the Champions League spots in Europe. So yeah, we're very much in the mix for the past can be the past, and we have the chance to go one better this season.
Ramiel Gandhi says, game finished 1-1. Yeah, but who went to the semi-final?
Yeah. Well, no, I understand what he means, because we didn't win the game, but
we did.
We won. We won the tie. So if you win the tie, then that's what you do in a cup. It's different from a league game, obviously. But that's why I said at the start, it's not 90 minutes. It's not Serie A, but it's still the fact that in a cup tie, if you come out on top, it doesn't have to be in 90 minutes. Still go through.
Yeah, the important thing is who went through, and Lazio did. Before I forget, I really liked the performance of Marusic today. I thought they didn't give him enough time the ball, but I think he played really well. And at a certain point, I don't know if you remember when he dribbled past Skriniar. He really, I mean, it was really encouraging to see him playing like that. I don't know if the latest signing of Lazio woke him up, saying, hey, I have to push a little bit more to keep my job here. But today he was, I wouldn't say the best performance of the season, but one of the best probably.
I thought it was his best performance of the season, to be honest. I was wondering that during the game. I was trying to think of a time that he's impressed me more this season, and I couldn't. So, yeah, I mean, I think that's a really encouraging sign, because while I was watching the game, I was thinking, actually, if you think about this month, this January, from Adam Marisic's perspective, he's sitting at home injured a lot of the time. And if you pick up any newspaper, it's filled with rumours about people who are essentially being brought in to replace you, or at best compete with you for your spot. You've got your coach and your director of sport publicly talking about needing to reinforce your position. So you can imagine that would be the kind of thing that, especially while you're out injured and you don't have the opportunity to kind of make your point on the pitch, it could be the kind of thing that would be a blow to your confidence. So that can go one way or the other. You can get your head down and be a bit depressed about it, or you can respond in the way that he did. And I thought that was a really good response and a really encouraging sign that actually maybe he's the arrival of Romulo and all the kind of talk about Lazio's need to reinforce the right side of midfield, that might wake him up a bit after the season he's had, which hasn't been nearly as impressive as we'd hoped.
I'm going to steal your job for once and give you the stats. Lazio have reached the semi-final in 3 consecutive Coppa Italia edition for the first time in the history of the competition.
I've just seen that come up to Paolo.
Yeah, they tweeted 3 minutes ago in Italian and just now in English. So incredible achievement, especially because let's not forget that Lazio didn't have a very easy draw. So this year they had to beat Inter. 2 years ago as well, they beat Inter with the goals of Felipe Anderson, a header of Felipe Anderson. I think that was a really rare goal from him, and a penalty from Biglia. So it has never been an easy path for Lazio to reach the semi-final. So I think this means even more for the achievement Lazio made. Ramiel Gandhi has tweeted, I really like Durmisi. His accelerating speed is lightning. I agree. I was impressed when he came in, give energy to a team that probably was starting to feel a little bit tired. And yeah, I'm pleased by his performance again.
Yeah, I mean, I think I said last week when we were going through the Jordan Lukaku stuff that I think that Dermisi's got the talent and seems to have the attributes to be the player that we hoped Lukaku would be. And yeah, I do hope that now that Jordan Lukaku's, I think I've already said it, but I just don't see the point in giving him games anymore because it's clear he doesn't want to be here, and the club aren't really very bothered about whether he's here or not either. So we might as well put that faith, put that trust in Dermisi instead. And I think that he's got a lot of promise. He's hardly played any games. I think they said on Rai tonight that he'd 5 games in Serie A and 3 in the Europa League, something like that. So yeah, I think he's going to need a bit of time to adjust to the style of play and so on. But it's the position's there for the taking, really. I mean, I know Lulic is the team captain, but Lulic's form has been very up and down over the last 2 seasons, and it's if he can impress off the bench, I think that he could be the next one to really try and work his way into the squad.
Didn't like Lulic's performance today, honestly, Alistair. I didn't like him. Too many mistakes. He run like all the time, You can't complain about his efforts, but too many mistakes, too many. With Durmisi, Lazio played much better. Obviously, you lose something physically because Lulic is a bigger body, but Durmisi didn't make all those mistakes Lulic made in the last 2 matches.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the penalty against Juventus that won them the game in the end came from Lulic, and yeah, I got a bit frustrated with him again tonight because, I mean, I think that I said last week that the penalty he gave away was clumsy, and then tonight, I think it may have even been during the first half, there was just one moment where Candreva was heading out to the touchline, and Lulic just clatters through the back of him and gives away a free kick, and it's on the edge of the box. It's in a good position. It doesn't come to anything, but given Inter's height and physicality and their danger from set pieces, it was a really dangerous place to commit such a clumsy foul, and there was no need to do it as well because Candreva, like I say, was heading out of the pitch. He could have just stood him up. So yeah, I mean, that's the side of his game that frustrates me the most, is the defensive side, because what he is really good at doing is getting the ball and pulling the team up, dragging them from defence to attack, and he drives down that line, and he does carry the ball very strongly, and he's very good at actually getting the team to move up the pitch, and leading by example in that way. But yeah, defensively, he is a constant source of frustration.
Yeah. We committed some stupid fouls, but I thought the referee was a little bit too soft. Inter players were going down too easily, and the referee was too generous today. But yeah, I don't know if this can change something in Lazio team. If after this performance, Durmisi will have more chances. He missed the penalty today, but I thought Andanovic made an unbelievable save on Durmisi penalty. I thought he kicked it really well. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, it was a great save. I mean, like I said before, he made a lot of good saves tonight, and but so did Strakosha, and then the penalty shootout as well. To be honest, I mean, I don't know how you were feeling, but when it came to the last minute penalty, I've seen things like that happen before, and in football generally, the emotional kind of blow of conceding so late to go into a shootout, usually it's the team who have just scored are the ones who come out on top. So
absolutely.
I wasn't feeling very optimistic, but I think that it says a lot about the mental strength of that team to react to that, and I don't think it was a coincidence as well that so many of the more experienced players were stepping up. Obviously, Parolo and Lucas took the final 2 penalties. Yeah, so brilliant reaction. And credit to Strakosha as well for his part in it, because I thought he had a really good game tonight.
Yep. Yeah. What was I going to say? Yeah, Parolo had a terrific penalty. Did Leva miss it last year against AC Milan? I don't.
Yeah.
So,
I think so, yeah.
the experienced players not always work out. But talking about Casado, do you think the chance that when in the second half when he was all alone in front of Andanovic, is it more mistake of Casado or it's a great save of Andanovic for you?
For me, it's a bit of both. I think Caicedo has to score. I mean, it's his job to score those chances. That's literally what he's paid to do, is to, if you're inside the box in that position, one-on-one with the keeper, and if you watch the replay, he has a time to take a touch, he looks up, he sees where Handanovic is, and then he sets himself and shoots. You've got the time to do all that as well. It's not like it's just an instinctive kind of snapshot where you're getting it on target and hoping for the best. He has the time to actually consider his finish before he makes it. And it was a great save, but I still think Caicedo has to score that. And I don't know, he's such a frustrating player, isn't he? I was just thinking tonight that if he could finish, he would. The way we'd be judging his season would be completely different by now already, because he's. I thought tonight he actually had a pretty good game. If you take away the two good chances he missed, he made a better impact off the bench than I expected. His link-up play was very good. Don't forget, it was his kind of interchanges with Immobile that set up the goal in the first place. But he also made a couple. His movement was really good. The chance he actually missed that we're talking about, his movement for that was excellent. And he, on the whole, in terms of his decision making in the final third, I thought he had a very good game. But it all comes to nothing if you miss those chances, because that's what everyone's going to remember. So it was a real shame, I thought.
Yeah, I'm reading some comments on Facebook and Twitter. Sorry, I get distracted. I thought he played much better after Lazio scored. I don't know if he took off a weight on his chest after the Immobile score, and it's true that he made the assist. But I thought he played better afterwards. And again, as you were saying, if he could even score, he was terrific. He would be terrific. But we know he's not gonna score that much. He struggled. He really does. And I agree with you saying that Handanovic had a terrific match, but I thought that a couple of times Lazio players should have kicked better. Luis Alberto had an incredible chance in the first half. Caicedo had an identical chance in the second half and missed it. You cannot allow it. So I think we have to improve there. And the problem is that I didn't think Ciro Immobile played that well. I think he has been struggling, especially in front of the keeper. He had misses chances that he usually doesn't. So it was really important for me that he scored today. And as it happened often, he probably scored in the most difficult chance he had today. And this is typical of Ciro Immobile. But I think this is really important for him, for the confidence, as we were saying. After a period where he was struggling to score, this goal is so important for him.
Well, you could see that from his celebration, couldn't you? I mean, he's off came the shirt immediately, and charged around. But I think that if we're going to have a strong end to the season, it's obvious to say, but we need the best Immobile, and that was a great insight into what he can do, and he's always going to give you everything, and it's just been the fact that I suppose in the last kind of month or so, he's not. I think the standards he's set have been so high that if he goes on even a few games without scoring, then people start to look at him and question what he's doing. So I think he's still been playing well. I think that tonight his goal was brilliant because he had such a small target to hit from where he was, not only getting the shot between the two defenders, but getting it into the gap between where Handanovic was and his post. And yeah, it took a little deflection as well, but I thought that was a brilliant finish. You're right, though. It's sometimes you wonder, how does he score that? And he misses that chance against Juventus. But there's no point dwelling on these things.
Yeah. Shall we talk a little bit of Acerbi? I thought another incredible performance by him. He made a couple of tackles that were terrific.
And a great penalty.
Yep.
It was a very, very much a centre-back's penalty, wasn't it? I don't know why keepers ever move when a centre-back takes a penalty, because they seem to about 99% of the time just smash it down the middle. But yeah, it was great to have him back. I mean, obviously, without him, we did surprisingly well. But he made his point tonight that obviously we're a much stronger team with him in that defence. So, and if it wasn't for Wallace's amazing rugby tackle, dive, face plant, headbutt, I don't know what you want to call that, but
injured as well.
Only Wallace would manage to injure himself while doing a ludicrously cynical tackle. But
I think he got injured before when he was running back, and then when he understood he was injured, he tried to block the player.
It was one of the most Wallace moments of the season. I think it was fantastic.
The funny thing is that he was playing well before that. I don't know if it was his best performance, but he was playing really well before that match, that episode.
Yeah, and to be honest, I think the way that it worked out wasn't bad because, him and Bastos both had good games against Juventus, and we were praising both of them a few days ago. So, to be honest, the fact that they probably got about equivalent time on the pitch tonight, I suppose, in the end. Well, Wallace would have played a bit longer probably, but yeah, I mean, I think they both deserved to be given some game time because they both showed what they can do in that match against Juventus. Don't get me wrong, I mean, it's going to take a fair bit more before people really start trusting them or wanting them in the team, but I think that it's been promising to see in these big games that they've not completely bottled it, neither of them, and neither of them have made any totally disastrous errors either.
One thing about the penalty that you said, it's very hard for a goalkeeper to stand still in a penalty. It's really difficult. You have to focus a lot because you have the instinct to go one or the other direction. So I thought that keeping still was really difficult, and Strakosha made an unbelievable save, even because he didn't move, but as well, Nainggolan hit a very strong kick and was quite high. So I think Strakosha made an unbelievable save. And talking about a goalkeeper who is not well known for penalty saving, today he saved two and touched the one of Icardi. I think it was an unbelievable performance even there.
Yeah, and it's a tough old thing to do, penalty shootouts aren't a thing that keepers are faced with that often, obviously, and it's you'll face the odd penalty throughout a season, but suddenly the kind of mind games and technique involved in actually doing well in a shootout is totally different to anything you really have to face throughout the course of a season as a keeper. So I'm always impressed by keepers who manage to make the difference in shootouts. Sometimes it's the takers who make the difference in that they'll mess up and they'll smash it over the bar or hit the post, and that'll decide the shootout. But I'm always really impressed when you get keepers who do actually make the result themselves from making these stops. And yeah, I think Strakosha, we've seen his ability as a penalty stopper before in Turin last year, of course, against Dybala, and yeah, here he was again. So it's clearly a big asset, a big strong point to his game, because it can't be a coincidence now that he's saving so many of them.
Yeah, it looks like Spalletti had to discuss with Bruno Giordano after the match. I'm trying to understand what happened. Bruno Giordano was in the Rai studio after the match commentating the Coppa Italia match, so I'm trying to understand what happened, but this is what I'm getting from Twitter. Yeah, I thought Strakosha deserved great credit, especially because we talked about him, how bad he become with his feet, with the ball on his feet, and I was starting to thinking today during the match that Wallace, Strakosha, Bastos, they're very dangerous when they have the ball on the feet. They're better when they are forced to only defend.
Yeah, of course. I think it's probably time we moved on to some transfer market stuff, if that's okay.
Already? We finished celebrating the semi-final?
Yeah, unless we're going to go through every player in the team.
Shall we start with Bastos? Well, the last deals were Murgia officially to Spal, and it looks like it's 6 months with a chance to Spal to renew the loan for another year. So it looks like it's going to be a little bit like Lombardi, so he's going to be 1 year and a half on loan. Are you surprised about this, Alistair?
Not too surprised, because I don't think his situation's really going to change much by the summer. I mean, I can't see a situation in which suddenly Murgia becomes a player that Lazio needs or feel like he's higher up the pecking order in the midfield, unless Lazio have plans to sell 2 or 3 midfielders this summer, and Murgia has the best half season of his life in Spal between now and the summer. I don't understand how anything's really going to change. So I think giving him the option of being there a bit longer is a sensible one, because it's a good. I think it's a good fit for him. It's a club that I don't see getting relegated this season. They try and play football the right way. He won't spend his whole time defending there. They will actually, keep possession and play a decent style of football. And I think that it could be a good fit for him. And by the end of 18 months, you'll have a much better idea of how much of a Serie A player Murgia is and what he can really offer to Lazio in the long term. Whereas by this summer, I'd be amazed if we knew anything that we don't already, if that makes any sense.
Well, but I think in 6 months, especially if he's going to start a lot of matches, he can prove to be a great player. So, I don't know. I'm not convinced.
I'd be surprised. I'd be surprised if in the next, between now and the end of May, that he can make enough of a difference at Spal for Lazio to come and take him back and him to suddenly be a starter in that midfield. Even if Milinkovic-Savic is sold in the summer, I don't see how that's going to happen. I mean, I'd like to be proved wrong. Don't get me wrong. I mean, it would be a great position to be in. If Murgia absolutely explodes at Spal in the next few months, then great. It would be a great thing for Lazio. But I can understand why the deal's been made this way, I suppose.
Filippini went to a Serie C team. I think, if I'm not wrong, the only one that was not in the team that stayed with Lazio is our friend Ravel Morrison. And basta, if you're considering outside. So we can say that one of the jobs that was get rid of all the players that wasn't in the team has been done, pretty much.
Yeah, well, this is one of the things I was wanting to ask you what your thoughts about it were. So, coming into January, I suppose the explicit kind of outspoken aim of the club for the January transfer market was essentially to trim the squad because it was too big, and to strengthen the right side of midfield. So, if that's the aim, then that's been achieved, right? I mean, they've pretty much done what they set out to do, even if they left it quite late.
Say again, sorry? I was reading Inzaghi's quote.
I was saying that they've done what they set out to do in the market, because they said they need to trim the squad because it's too big, and they need to strengthen the right side of midfield. So even if it's taken until today, that is what has ended up happening.
I thought that should have been part A, but then there was part B that was improve the team available to Simone Inzaghi. So I understand part A was important, but I feel like you didn't finish the job. We said it, we need a Vice Immobile that cannot be Casado. Now we had Romulo that I thought, wow, this was a signing we had to do 5 years ago, not now. 5 years ago, Romulo was really high. Now he's a decent player. I don't think he's going to change Lazio squad. So,
yeah, I think that, I mean, I agree with you. I think Lazio have done the bare minimum here. So I don't think we can look back on this transfer market as being a huge disappointment. And the reason for that is, like I say, that the club has done what they set out to do. And it was important to do things like find clubs for Rossi, Moggia, Lombardi. It's important for these players, Minella as well, to get out and get game time. It was important to get rid of the likes of Brian Pereira, who's just wasting money. Martin Cáceres, I think that getting all these players off the books is a good thing. Romulo coming in, I think, is fine. I mean, my reaction to it was, more or less a shrug. I think that he's not a player who's going to get anyone very excited, but at the same time, he does tick all the boxes, really. He's a versatile player. He can play in midfield and defence on the right-hand side and the centre. And at the same time, he's got enormous experience in Serie A. You're right, he was a much bigger name 5 years ago than he is now. But, he's played all over Serie A. He's spent time in Juventus. He's played at the top level. And, yeah, I don't think that he's going to be the difference between the Champions League or not. But I think that he does improve the squad from where it was before he arrived.
I'm not sure. I don't think... maybe, I hope I'm wrong, but I don't think it's going to make the difference. So maybe it's going to help the team a little bit. Maybe he's going to help in the sense that he's going to push Marusic to do better, like he did today.
Yeah, I mean, even that would be a help, though, wouldn't it? And everything can make a difference. But I mean, Romulo, he's another option. I doubt we'd see him in the centre midfield because of the competition there, but he can play in that position as well. So. And he does seem like a guy, I mean, everything that I've heard and read about him speaks of the fact that he's immensely committed and professional. So I do think that the fans will probably take to him because he does seem like the kind of guy who's going to give everything he's got to the club, and already has come out and written this quite emotional message about writing the future with Lazio and everything.
The future. He's 6 months on loan, so we're gonna see how long it. And this is the positive thing I think about, because it's not the typical Lazio player that get on January that signed 3 years contract, and if it doesn't work out, you'll struggle to sell him. it's 6 months. If it doesn't work in this 6 months, then you can send it back home.
Yeah, exactly. That was kind of why I said, I didn't really see any, like, there's nothing to lose with this kind of deal, because if he does brilliantly and fits into the squad well and makes a big impact, then you make it permanent, because Lazio have the option to do that. But if not, then he goes back and you're done. So, yeah, I think it's, given that it's a deadline day deal, I think it's quite a good one, because I don't know, I don't really get what Genoa are getting out of this deal, really. But yeah.
Honestly, I don't understand what Genoa is doing in this winter transfer. They sent Piatek to Milan for pretty much. They said they wouldn't sell it. Then they said 40 millions, and then they accept 35. So, I don't. If I was a Genoa fan, I would be really upset this winter.
But you're not, so you don't need to worry.
Yeah, this time no. And I don't understand why Marchetti finished out of the team. That's something I don't know. And he's still there. I think he didn't find another team for this end of the season.
Well, Marchetti's out of the team because Marchetti's, 35, 36, and Radu is 21, 22. I can't remember the exact ages, but I think it's that simple, and Radu is considered to be the future and a very exciting young player, but there you go. I think it can be that simple sometimes.
Yeah, but you can keep him as second goalkeeper, Marchetti.
Sorry?
You can keep him on the bench. Instead,
yeah, right. You mean he's not even been on the bench?
No, he's training with the Primavera now. He started like end of December.
Oh, right. I didn't realize that.
No, so it doesn't make sense. Anyway, okay. The other great signing of Lazio is Thiago Mattias Casasola, that is a Salernitana player and will stay there till the end of this season. Now, I know you know everything about this player, so I'll let you talk about him a little bit.
So kind of you.
Well, it looks like
he's an Argentina youth international. I know that much.
Yeah, he went to England. He left the Argentina team where he was playing, went to England. Things didn't work out. He went to Roma. Sabatini bought him, and he was hoping to make his debut there, but things didn't work out. So then he went to Serie C, and this summer he has been bought by Salernitana. He's a central defender. He's quite good scoring, so he could be your new Bastos. But I didn't see this coming, to be honest with you. I don't know. He could be the new Ramos, but...
Well, he's not that young, though, is he?
No, that's the thing.
Yeah, that's the thing I found strange about this, was when I heard that, and I thought, oh, he's staying at Salernitana, okay. That kind of makes sense, but...
He's 23.
He's going to be 24 by the time he's a Lazio player. And, that obviously that's not ancient, but it is an age by which you would expect him to have kind of achieved something in the game already if he's going to be in the Lazio squad. So, yeah, it's a bit of an odd one. But, I mean, the other thing I was thinking was today that the news about him broke around the same time that the news about Sprocati came out as well. And I was thinking... that was another really strange deal. So
absolutely.
Maybe it's just going to end up being the same kind of thing as Sprocati, where you've got this totally unnecessary deal going on in the background for no apparent reason.
Yeah, but the thing of Sprocati left me really astonished. He's hardly playing with Parma, and they already decide that they will renew his contract and buy him, which doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Absolutely,
exactly.
Doesn't make sense. He hardly played, I think, this season with Parma.
Yeah, I know. I was thinking exactly the same thing today. I just don't... there's a lot of strange decisions going on. I mean, I'm starting to wonder if Sprocati even exists. If he's a real person.
Yeah, this is incredible. Honestly, it's something... maybe from today he's going to start playing every single match, Sprocati. Who knows?
There was another one recently that made me think. It was when I was I can't actually remember which game it was, whether it was Lazio Novara or Roma Virtus Entella. But one of those two teams in their midfield has Ronaldo, the original Lazio Ronaldo, who, if you remember, we signed a couple of seasons ago and then sent to Salernitana, and then he disappeared.
Never come back, yep.
And yeah, these deals just keep kind of happening on the the kind of on in the background, I suppose. It's a bit strange.
Yeah, at least we can say that Tare buy a lot of young players, and some of them finish to Salernitana to get tests in a certain way. And if they work out there, then maybe they come back to Lazio. That's probably how it's going to end with Anderson, who is playing quite well with Salernitana. He's scoring a lot. By the way, I'm looking at the stats of this Casasola, sorry. And this season he scored 4 goals and made 2 assists. For a central defender, that's unbelievable.
It's not bad. Yeah. I mean, it's not quite Bastos, but he's getting there.
I don't think Bastos made 2 assists last year.
I mean, we're getting a bit off the beaten track here, but it is almost 1 a.m. in Italy, so forgive me. But I did actually have a dream the other night that I met Bastos, and I told him that he's a natural striker, and he agreed with me. So there you go.
You have to be careful with what you drink at night, huh? You should be used to, but you know.
It's probably a premonition of something that's going to happen this weekend. And it's time I met Bastos.
It's going to happen eventually. Some quotes of Simone Inzaghi. Obviously, he's really happy. He said that as usual, he doesn't want to discuss about the referee, but it never happened in his life to see a red card taken off and a penalty at the 122nd minute. I came in the pitch, jump in the pitch in the chances of Caicedo, and I wanted to push in the ball, so that's why I got sent off. I thought he was sent off because he complained about the free kick that Abisso didn't give to Lazio, honestly. But anyway.
Yeah. Just got another statistic coming up that I've retweeted, but
you just one. Yeah, go on.
I hadn't actually realised this, but it's one of these things that's obvious once you know it. But Lazio are now the only Italian team to still be in 3 competitions going into February, which is amazing, actually.
Yeah.
There you go. But I mean, I suppose that does say a lot as well about this Coppa Italia. It's so open now for Lazio because over 2 legs against Milan. I mean, obviously, because of the weird way the Coppa Italia is structured, these 2 legs are one in February and one in April. So you take forever between the 2 before you decide. But, you know, the other semi-final being contested between Atalanta and Fiorentina, suddenly, obviously, the big traditional heavyweights in this competition have disappeared in the current top 3 of Napoli, Juve, and Inter, obviously. So it's I mean, I really like the Coppa Italia, so I always want to win it, and it's obviously got very, very good memories for Lazio fans connected to it as well. So I really hope that this can go somewhere, because Atalanta and Fiorentina are 2 very good teams on their day, but I think are also 2 teams that Lazio would much prefer to face in a final than Juventus again, for example.
Yes, I agree, and this is something we said often, that for a team like Lazio, but as well as Roma or Napoli, who hasn't got that many trophies that say, okay, Coppa Italia, we don't care. Roma is 11 years that doesn't win nothing. They should give everything for the Coppa Italia. Same thing for Napoli. They didn't pretty much play against AC Milan. They lost after 25 minutes, 2 goals, you know. But it's a trophy. They don't win a trophy, I don't remember. Napoli won something in the last year, but not that much that you can say, okay, Coppa Italia, we don't care. So as a fan, I always hope that Lazio fight through all the competition because it's always a cup. And for a team, we're not Manchester United, we're not Real Madrid. Every cup is very hard for us. And so when we are fighting for any competition, I want the team to give the best. And so reaching the semi-final for the third consecutive year, this is astonishing. This is an incredible achievement. So yeah, it's a great achievement. Now, said this, I'm a little bit concerned for Monday. I don't know if Inzaghi is going to rotate the team. I think against Frosinone he could do it. I'm hoping to see Pedro Neto start, but I don't think it's going to happen.
No, I find that very unlikely. I just saw a comment we had from Padre Bowman saying it's too bad we can't face Roma in the final. My response to that would be, it is a shame because it was great last time, but at the same time, watching them last night has, I don't think I would change anything.
No, and I still remember that final very well. And, I thought it was the closest point to death I ever been.
Just
that
as well we didn't have a podcast to do after that game.
Absolutely. But I remember the crossbar that Totti hit with that free kick. I'm still wondering why I'm still alive after that.
You're still shaking from the impact.
Absolutely. And even after Lulic scored, I thought they would have arrest me after that, but instead I'm still here, unfortunately for you. But yeah, the defeat of yesterday, we don't talk about the other teams, but it was simply unbelievable. But Atalanta is playing so well, Alistair. It's really tough to play against Atalanta at the moment. But as you were saying, now they're really dangerous. You don't know in 3 months' time, 2 months' time, if they will still be playing that well.
Yeah, this is it. I mean, if they are, then they'll be in fourth place, not us. So we don't have to worry about that. But yeah, I mean, it's an incredibly. They've got a lot of talent in that team. I'd be amazed if they'll keep this form up until the end of the season. But you never know.
Even though because Zapata is scoring every single match.
Well, more than that. I think his rate is above 1 a game, and has been for a while. So. Yeah, I mean they've got a really good team, so they often get not often, but sometimes people gloss over Atalanta when they're talking about these the big teams and the top 6 and so on. But I don't see why. I mean, given recent seasons, they've got every just as much reason as the other teams around them to really be involved in those conversations from the way they've been playing and from the team that Gasperini's built. So they're definitely, in my mind, going to be right up there at the end of the season, and possibly Sampdoria as well, who've been looking pretty good. So yeah, it's a tight league this year.
Yeah, and talking about the transfer market, I thought that Lazio didn't do a terrible transfer market. The problem is our competitors have improved a lot. I think the signing of Milan, of Piatek, it's really good for them. Probably Higuain is a better striker, but he wasn't really focused on AC Milan, and he was playing badly. While Piatek maybe is not as good as Higuain, but he's focused. He's really looking like having a big chance for Milan, and so he's going to give his best. Gabbiadini for Sampdoria is a great signing. We saw what Muriel is doing with Fiorentina. So I think that except from Roma, Inter, all the other teams are a better squad now after this winter transfer window. I don't think the same about Lazio, to be honest. Yeah, Romolo helps, but it's not Gabbiadini, it's not Piatek, it's not Muriel.
No, he's not. And yeah, I mean, I think even in our most optimistic moods, we never really expected that Lazio were going to do anything out of the ordinary in January, just because we never do. But yeah, I think that that it's right to point that out. You know that those teams are strengthening, but at the same time, I'd still think that the team we've already got is strong enough on its own to be able to compete right into the end. You know, Milan have signed Piontek, yes, but they have, like you say, replaced Higuain with him. So it's not just strengthening. You know, they have lost a player to bring him in. And then, Gabbiadini, Muriel, those guys are strengthening those teams. But Roma, Atalanta haven't changed an awful lot. And, neither have Lazio. So, yeah, I don't know. I still honestly have no idea what's going to happen. But I'm feeling more confident from a Lazio perspective now after the last couple of games than I was before, I'd say.
Yeah, it's good to see Lazio playing that well. We're going to see against Frosinone. It's a really important match. Lazio have to win. I hope they play well as the last two matches, but take those chances and finally score more goals than only one. As I know you are tired, so I think we can wrap it up here. And we're going to talk Monday because Lazio's playing Monday.
Yes, of course they are. Normal day to be playing.
Yeah, I know you're a busy guy on Monday, so don't know if you're going to be able to join the show, but we're going to do it on Monday and talk about Lazio Frosinone.
All right, well, until next time.
Thank you very much, Alistair, and be careful what you drink, otherwise Buster's going to come again in your dreams.
That's fine. You know, I enjoyed it.
Thank you everybody for listening. I know it's quite late, but you can follow us on Twitter, on Lazio Lounge, on Facebook, on our Facebook page. Subscribe, please, on our Spreaker channel and on iTunes. Subscribe and invite your friends to follow us and rate our podcast. And if you want to support us, there is our Patreon page, patreon.com/Lazio Lounge. It's everything for tonight. Lazio through the Coppa Italia semi-final. We're going to play against AC Milan again. Time for a revenge. Thank you, everybody. Good night.
Watching